Hi everyone, it's Lisabeth at Sparkle Stories, and today we are talking about healthy eating and kids. And we're doing something a little different in that I've invited my friend Margaret to join us. Margaret Connor is a nutritionist and has 3 kids who eat the broadest range of foods of any children I've ever met. So I'm going to ask her 3 questions. And our first question is, Margaret, what are the 2 things you would tell us not to do if we're trying to expand our children's eating range or their palate? What 2 things should we not do?
Thanks, Elizabeth. My first don't would be to be careful when you're trying to change your child's diet. You don't want to take all of the unhealthy foods out right away. There will be a mutiny in your home and your children will shut down. So I always guide my clients to first add healthy food in. And as you add more and more in that your kids enjoy, the unhealthy foods will move off the plate. My second is to not bribe with dessert. I know it's really difficult not to do that because the whole world seems set up to congratulate your child for eating his or her vegetables by giving them a cookie. But I would really advise you not to set up a value system that stresses desserts as a better food or more exciting food than a steamed vegetable. Because sometimes a steamed vegetable can be actually very exciting.
Thank you. Okay, so second question. What are the 4 do's when it comes to expanding healthy eating? What 4 things would you tell us we definitely should do?
Okay, so my first do is my favorite thing in the world. It's called the no thank you bite. And it's a requirement in our household because I spend a lot of loving time cooking for my kids and I really want them to try what I've cooked for them. So the rule is that you have to take 1 bite of everything I prepare for you, and you can say no thank you if you choose not to have a second bite. But that way my children get exposed to a broad array of flavors and it really helps expand their palate. It's really worked in our house. So the no thank you bite is a requirement at every meal. The second one follows from that, which is before you go into transitioning your child's diet, be really clear about what your ground rules are and stick to them. So you can't waver. If you've made a rule, you can't waver on it or the kids are going to eat you alive. That's what happens in my household. So what I love to do is if you're not going to tell your kids there's a cookie at the end, so please try these new vegetables, do the if-then rule, which is if you finish your vegetables, then we'll go and read that book you love. If you finish your vegetables, we'll go on a nighttime walk. So something else that they can look forward to once they've had their no thank you bite. So I like to set those 2 up together. Those are my first 2 don'ts. Those are my first 2 do's, sorry. My third do is to sometimes take the pressure off mealtime and introduce new foods at snack time. Sometimes it can get old for you as an adult, but also for the kids, there can be a lot of pressure around dinner when there's new foods being served every night. And it starts to fatigue kids and adults alike. So a lot of times I'll introduce new foods at snack time. Everyone's hungry when they come home from school, and a lot of times there's less pressure, so they'll kind of graze on some of the new foods. And my fourth to do is to use dips. And I know that sounds unusual, but if your kid has a favorite salad dressing or loves guacamole, and even ketchup, which I know has sugar in it and I don't love it, but if it gets your kids tasting carrots or sliced cucumbers or something like that, then go ahead and try it as a gateway into them experimenting with more vegetables. So those are my 4 favorite don'ts. Do's, sorry.
Great. Thank you. Perfect. That's perfect. Okay, last question. So here at Sparkle, we're all about stories and creativity. How would you use storytelling, or creativity to encourage and inspire healthy eating in kids?
So I love storytelling around healthy eating because it really gets your kid curious around what they're eating. And I find when you take the pressure off, this is the healthy food you should eat for your body, which they've heard several times. When you make the food become part of a story, it really gets them out of that mindset and into this experiential mindset where it's like an adventure to try a piece of broccoli. Or in our house, we've done it around artichokes, cauliflower. I've looked up sort of historical facts about the food, and so they know Native Americans tried some of them, and they really are curious about what it would have been like maybe to be that Native American, to try an artichoke for the first time. And so I love the power of story around healthy eating. It really is a game changer as far as changing that dynamic that's been sort of beat into our heads about must eat healthy. Instead, it makes it an adventure. And who doesn't want an adventure?
Thank you so much, Margaret. That was perfect. That was awesome. So you all, if you want to read more about Margaret's thoughts or you want a reminder of everything she said in today's video tutorial, you can go to her website, margaretconnor.com. She spells Connor C-O-N-N-O-R, margaretconnor.com. Thanks again, Margaret. Hope this has been helpful. See you in the next video.